Okay, so we discussed about Ryan Garcia's left hook. Now, Garcia generally, would you not Garcia? Sorry, hey, would you agree that he generally has his right hand sort of under the chin, sort of lower under that chin? So if we go back to when Donald Curry was fighting Milton McCrory, Donald Curry said Kronk fighters are suspect to the left hook because where their hand is placed. Now, Lennox Lewis, there's a video of him saying when he got with Manuel Stewart said, you put your hand under the chin here, you can move your hand just a few inches to block the hook.
Yes.
But Lewis is a heavyweight. Garcia was fast. Do you think his speed was able to capitalize on that positioning of Haney's rear hand, which means that even if they were a full fight again, we'd have the same problem with Garcia's speed and left hook, simply because the hand is low, then having to catch. Garcia's speed is it's got special speed, Garcia, and at that size, that powerful, it's a tough one to face. So what do you think about this position of the hand, whether that played into any issues handling the speed of Garcia and his left hook? So we'll go, Coach Mustafa, you go first.
That's a great question. I've asked that question since that fight 100 times. Me personally, I think the hand should have stayed where Devin really keeps it at. I think it's hard to take a guy fighting one way and Devin fought that way in amateurs. So he fought that way for 10 to 15 years, and all of a sudden he's going to change it at that high of a fight. What I think, though, is that instead of catching the jab, he should have pulled the jab or use his lead hand like Bernard did with Trinidad. Bernard rarely caught the jab because if I bring my hand in front of my face and extend it, it's gonna be hard to put it back. I think he should have kept where it was right in front of his chest, but he should have pulled it and touched it. Every time he caught the jab, he threw the hook. If you think about the shell position and styles make fights, a lot of people say style before they don't understand what that means. Is that when the shell designed to take away the right hand, it's not designed to take away the left hook. Even the guys Floyd when he struggled with, they had great left hooks. Castillo had a really good left hook. Oscar had a really good left hand. Miguel Cotto had really, really, really good left hands because they didn't throw a lot of right hands. So even though Floyd won those fights, those gave Floyd a little bit of an issue. So I believe Devin catching that jab really made it hard for him. And Bernard is from Philadelphia. Of course Bernard knows how to shoulder roll. Of course he does. There's no way he doesn't. But every style has pros and cons to where you can't primarily stay in that shell position. And Devin, and I know Floyd's everybody's big dog. Floyd is the guy. Think about it, a lot of guys fight like Floyd, especially in the black community. Hitchens, Devin, Shakur, you see it very calculated, don't really hit really hard, they kind of pot shot, but every style has cons. The cons of catching that jab is that hook. And so in a style matchup, that's very hard. Mike McCallum and Roy Jones Jr. Mike McCallum, he did not catch that jab a lot. He threw a lot of jabs because he knew if he caught that jab, and that same hook that gave Bernard, a prime Bernard, and the prime James Toney, a lot of problems.
Mhm.
Some guys are just really it's the supernatural. So it's too hard to bring that hand from the front then to the side. Devin, he tried his best. He got him every time. I think he just did not know what to do. I believe
I think,
he prepared properly.
yeah. I also think, like, in the spirit of defensive responsibility, you have to be able to change your defense sometimes because you can get in front of a guy where the way you usually defend yourself, that might not work today. You see what I'm saying? If you watch when Floyd was fighting Shane, after Shane caught him, his hands went up. That was his defensive responsibility right there. And then when he caught rhythm, he kind of went back to his shell. But when Shane got into the red zone, peekaboo, and he pulling out of that, he gets to getting like that, right? And that's the adjustment made. So you can't surprise me, right? Because you so fast, you might feel one I don't see. And that's the worst joint I can get hit with, right? I always like to point to the great Eddie Futch. And he went after Muhammad Ali. He got Muhammad Ali twice with two different style of guys. He gets him with Frazier, and then he gets him with Kenny Norton. Muhammad Ali's backhand is out of place. It's the same thing, right? Kenny Norton gets him by catching and jabbing back. Your backhand is down. So when you throw your jab, you extend it and you're like this, right? And I'll catch that joint and I'll pop you right back. With Joe Frazier, it's left hook. But we targeting the same thing. That's something you can't stop doing because you do that wrong all the time and you get away with it all the time. So in the spirit of defensive responsibility, what I've always felt with Floyd's May Vinci code was I could defend myself every way. So no matter what I run into, I'll switch to defense if need be. Because the offense never really changes, right? And so it's like, it's one of them things that I kind of picked up and I try to teach my guys, but it was like a lot of guys, when I watch film, especially if I'm watching somebody I got to go against, I'm always looking for the thing that they can't stop doing, what I think they can't stop doing, because they do it so much that he can't stop doing that.
Neutralize it.
Yeah, you
And I
study the
think
habits.
they went after him in that way.